And welcome back. We are now going into the Celeste 80% League for GSA. I am Troy of Athens joining you today, and we definitely have an interesting thing going on today for this match. This is not actually a completely dry new match today. We are right now tied at 1-1. Blackpear ended up having some weather issues locally, and resulted in just not having good enough internet at the moment to support having a full 3 races. So it just ended up being that Blackpear um, just had to, they just had to reschedule it. It was up to the choice for Scrublord, and Scrublord was allowed for a reschedule instead of just taking the game straight off. It just seemed more fair. And so we are into a tied game here, going straight into prologue. So yeah, prologue just being its usual self of doing the skip cutscene and then moving right into chapter 1. And we're gonna get the continuous chapter after chapter syncs, it looks like today, which is both of them are good options. And we're both in the same room now, going within this chapter 1, moving through onto a bit of a harder screen. I don't love that screen too much, but it's there. But yeah, definitely getting some very close by runners right now, as these runners are showing on the first 2 races that happened on the other day of how close these two really are, and that this is actually another rivalry that definitely exists within this league for Celeste. But Scrublord definitely having some hang-ups in this chapter 1. Blackpear going to be the first one to finish, getting a 134 file time here, with Scrublord getting a 138 right now. Still in the first 2 chapters though, so it's not anything that can't be made up. We do have the harder tricks are coming up later in the game, not so much here in these first 2 chapters. And yeah, just moving through the battle line fights now. Blackpear getting the good angles here on these dream blocks. Now moving into the last screen for the battle line chase sequence, and this is the screen that you need to actually place cleanly, otherwise you do end up with some really odd spaghetti. Final screens now for chapter 2, going into the awake section for Blackpear, still maintaining that lead. Really smooth awake section going on. Oh, Scrublord actually ending up hitting a springboard. No one likes doing that. It certainly just, the hang time in the air, you just feel tilted the entire time after that springboard until you land. So just the intro section here of Chapter 3. Not really going to be any sort of opportunity yet until we get to the big mess, where it really starts to get pretty hectic. Both players being very calm, just doing what they need to do in these screens. As blackpear now dealing with the big mess, all of these obstacles, is smoothly going through here pretty well. Missing a couple dashes, misses the wall bounce there, but it's just like minor things here and there that, if Scrublord is able to get these tricks, is potentially going to save that gap there. Yes, able to get the wall jump, and is able to get to a Shiro just a little bit faster than blackpear. Oh, and blackpear having to set up again on the spike jump there, as Scrublord is waiting a second. Damn, blackpear going for that corner boost, trying to completely ignore that screen entirely, but just ends up not quite getting it, getting a bit of a corner frick. And nicely done, Scrublord able to edge out through that cycle, and as blackpear is moving into the elevator shaft. These corners today for both sides now, not playing around here on chapter. And now moving towards the demo dash. Blackpear and Scrublord were both having having a couple bit of trouble. Not the most consistent of the players here, but definitely still able to get it after 1 or 2 tries, which is what you need to get, and is what potentially should happen here. And blackpear, yes, messing up on the first try here, having a bit of trouble with that setup, and resulted in getting very close to the left edge on those dust bunnies. While Scrublord, a bit newer to setups here, and is, taking 2 deaths now. Oh, we're on 3. Scrublord, you gotta get this setup better. And through Oshiro, and is pretty much on the second and third screens now, and Scrublord's still dealing with this demo dash. Yeah, it's something that's definitely continuing to hurt Scrublord in his matches. Finally getting through, is able to get corner boost strats on the next screen, so he is trying as much as he can to stay in it and just keep going with the time save that he can find. but that is going to leave blackpear with a very good lead going into Chapter 4. And yeah, Scrublord fishing out, getting it's basically a 40-second gap now, leaving Chapter 3. blackpear going for the ultra strategies on that screen. Oh, blackpear taking a death there. Just a little one, not going to cause too much of a difference here, as Scrublord just goes through the spike jumps and is just waiting, and blackpear just waiting a bit on the auto scrollers. blackpear moving through the final parts of the cliff face here, as Scrublord is just moving through, getting the auto scroller. And blackpear getting a pretty good time here on chapter 4, getting a 2:45. It looked like on the chapter timer. Final timer seeing a 10:48. And now we are moving into Chapter 5, and this is another area that's going to potentially show the skill of these players. Scrublord still having a bit of trouble finishing out Chapter 4, as blackpear is going to be coming up on Yeet. And nicely done going for the setup there for the skip cutscene bug. And that looks like a pretty good Yeet. Yes, getting it through, able to get the corner boost over there and get a successful Yeet. Not done yet with Chapter 5. There's still a couple more rooms here in 5A, and then of course the rest of 5, and of course all of 5B that we have to go through. But blackpear looking to have a pretty good exit time here. Yeah, getting a 110 out of 5A. That is very good. Okay, blackpear coming up on Bub's drop as Scrublord also gets the successful yeet. Oh, but the Bub's drop is failed by blackpear. Gonna have to restart the section going back in here. Scrublord still having a bit of trouble with the beginning of 5A, and blackpear able to get the Bub's drop on the second try. And good job with these optimized setups here on this room. blackpear moving swiftly through 5B now that he is done with that Bub's drop. And now we are coming up on Scrublord having to do a Bub's drop. Bub's drop gonna have to get this in the first try if he wants any hope of having a potential going into the next chapters. Able to get on the first try, well done there, as blackpear has started the Into the Mirror section. Oh, Scrublord trying for the diagonal down dash there. Missing the timing just a little bit. And yeah, Scrublord having a bit of trouble on that red bubble screen, as blackpear is now moving through the Seeker Gauntlet. Cycle's being a bit weird, having a bit of a different route than I'm used to seeing from most players. Scrublord starting out his Into the Mirror sequence as blackpear is finishing out 5B, having a bit of trouble there with the platforms. Good save though. Gonna be finishing out of here with a 212. Keep in mind, did have the Bub's drop fail, so add about 30 seconds to that, and that's what you're looking at for blackpear's 5B time. blackpear successfully able to get the chapters, able to get the lake skip here at the beginning of chapter 6, as Scrublord is now moving through the gauntlet for the Seekers and having a bit of trouble with the first one. Yeah, just having some odd pathing now, just going through it and kind of just adapting to what the Seekers are doing right now and just moving as he can. Scrublord going to be getting a 248. That's a pretty good time considering some of these things that happened in this chapter for him. blackpear keeping the lead going through the hollow section now of chapter 6, as Scrublord will be coming up on lake skip. Lake skip being a pretty trivial trick compared to the other ones in this game now. Something that I've seen a lot of runners having higher success rates than the other tricks that we count in this. blackpear having a little bit of trouble with the top route there. And yeah, there is a little bit of timer desync happening right now due to in-game timer things, in-game timer shenanigans going on, but there definitely is a cleared lead by blackpear right now, as he is about to enter for the battle line booth. Got the setup correctly and is able to move through. Scrublord choosing for the bottom route. Getting the extended bumper there. Both players continuing to move through battle. Blackpear moving through battle line as Scrublord is going to be entering the battle line fight now. Successfully getting the battle line boost. Blackpear about halfway through the fight now. And having a bit of trouble with some faster setups here, trying to do some ultras and failing, getting a bit of screw up on the corner. And we are getting a little bit of a timer sync. Here, we're just going to be watching Blackpear's side as this happens. Oh, sorry, Scrublord's side as this happens, going through the feathers. And we have passed the point of a timer sync. I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, is Blackpear's stream going down again? I need an update. Right now we just have Scrublord's stream on screen again. Scrublord now just finishing it out on this chapter 6 sequence here. Okay, Restreamer is going to be looking into things now as we are approaching the summit. Everyone pray for blackpear right now, as we are just hoping that this is just a minor, like, computer issue, nothing actually with the power, and that we can actually get right back into this race fairly quickly. Scrublord, just moving through 500 meters. I will keep you updated as I hear things, of course. But for right now, we are just watching Scrublord go through Summit. And set up on some pretty good time right now as well. Although, you know, having a bit of a messy early game, not resulting in any sort of PB, but, you know, we're just getting a better late game right now. Scrublord now in the 1500 meters section. Gonna take a bit of a death here. This is a very troubling area. Gonna be something that's gonna have to be cleaned up by all players at some point. It is definitely a troublesome section of Summit. Getting through some of the hardest sections of 1500 meters, but still in a section that can cause a little bit of trouble with the timing of getting through those dust bunnies. And now just on the Franker Z. Scrublord continuing to move through again through the auto scroller sections here in 2000 meters. And Scrublord actually turning out to have a pretty clean summit right now. other than a few mess ups in the 1500 meters, of course. And we're still waiting on updates from blackpear right now, which is a bit troubling, but we're still just gonna move through, watch what Scrublord's doing. Getting the key skip here in 2500 meters. Okay, Scrublord onto flag number 19. Still finishing it out, gonna be getting through this section, gonna go through the longer flags now of the upward wind. Scrublord having a bit of trouble here on flag number 4. And Scrublord going to be getting a 30:49 here at the end. 30:50, excuse me. It does seem we're getting word from blackpear in our Discord chat here that he is online again. It was some sort of connection issue there with the internet, not specifically power, it seems. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see where blackpear gets put back. We are looking at his stream as he is currently in there, and it shows that apparently, did blackpear finish already, or what is that stream? I'm confused. Okay. So I think what happened was that he ended up going offline and the stream cut, but his game kept going. So he actually was doing the run and continuing the run just offline. So he did get a 29:48 offline. We're still waiting for a ruling here on what's going on though. It does seem talks of another reschedule are being happening here, being that we did not see the end of the race from blackpear's side. It is looking like that. So yeah, in another in more unexpected things, we are getting another reschedule of this match. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for this. I apologies of course that this is going to end up into another reschedule. But we're just doing what we have to do. Right, and Scrublord actually was yet again given the option between taking the win and reschedule, and it just didn't feel right to Scrublord to take the win after getting such a different time here between the two players. Blackpear having the better run, but just not able to take the win due to connection issues. So Scrublord is allowing for another reschedule here. Yeah, actually, yeah, we are getting word in chat that there is a possibility that we will do this now, considering we do have time. There is a bit of time between now and the next thing being the SMO task results, so there is actually an opportunity to potentially do it right now and actually just have a redo happen right now. And yes, it does seem that both players are agreeing to it, and so this is actually just going to be a redo. So yeah, moving into the rematch again. This is going to be the 5th game in this series of 3 races. Countdown has started, and we are now here. Let's all pray, of course, for the internet to work well this time and keep everything clean in this race. And just to remind everyone what's happening, this is so the first 2 matches were played a couple days ago of this match specifically between blackpear and Scrublord. Blackpear having some power issues on the first day, and so we had it rescheduled to today, and then blackpear yet again had some internet issues coming into this reschedule, resulting in what we're seeing now being essentially a second reset of the reschedule. So we are still looking at a tied 1-1 race. This is the game that matters. The previous 2 game 3s that we have seen do not count, as Scrublord has continued to agree to the reschedules. And yeah, the scripts today are getting pretty interesting for speedrunning, I would say. I'm going to be looking into a timer sync, as we did have blackpear taking a bit more time in the chapter select screens, and showing that the players are pretty close together right now in this first chapter. Man, as I say that, Scrublord is actually taking a death here on the technically third to last screen here on City. Okay, blackpear having a bit of a lead here now, just about a 5 to 10 second lead right now in the beginning stages of chapter. And with timer staying pretty in sync right now, we do see the clear lead that blackpear currently has. About a 2 screen difference right. Both players moving into the awake section now for chapter 2. Okay, moving into chapter 3 now. Blackpear gonna be the first one in here, entering the lobby of the hotel. Ooh, Blackpear having a bit of trouble here on the intro parts of the hotel. And now they are on, and now they are very close together with the... Both players now on the big mess screen. Definitely difference in movement here on who is better at navigating this area, as Scrublord is actually ending up able to catch up a little bit here on this one screen. Players continuing to move in through the sections of the big mess, going through the books area now. Blackpear having some trouble on some screens right now, and Scrublord is actually able to pull ahead. Dust bunnies can be pretty troublesome sometimes, and if you just have a mess up, it can spiral out of control here on some of these. And yeah, we are very, very close together here on this chapter 3, going into the towels section now. Oh, Scrublord taking a death on this cycle, allowing Blackpear to take the lead. It's actually really close with the timer desync going on, so it's actually hard to tell who is in the lead right now. I am mistaken. The death just making it much closer. The death being taken by Blackpear. This is turning into a very messy chapter 3 from both players. Another death from Blackpear on the same screen with the timer desync going on. We do have a Scrublord lead again. And now moving towards the demo dash. This is where we can keep going with the messiness as we are approaching demo dash, a trick that was causing a lot of trouble just a little while ago for Scrublord. Both players having a bit of trouble now. It's just gonna matter on who is able to get through first. Both players still struggling. It's still anyone's game as we are continuing to look through it. Blackpear being a bit more steady, able to get it through. He is the first one to get through the wall. Scrublord is still working on it. And Scrublord just not feeling it today with the demo dash is actually just gonna go over to the hyper room. Now in the Yoshira sections, it's with the Scrublord having the definitely having a disadvantage here out of this. I'm going into this section, but it's definitely still anyone's game, as it's been showing that blackpear still isn't playing at the top of his game as he was in the last run that happened. So there definitely is some more opportunities for Scrublord to get it back this time. Blackpear having a bit of trouble with the spike jumps now, as Scrublord is nearing closer. Blackpear got the ultras coming in, able to successfully go through there. Scrublord having a bit of a death, just mistimed dashes going on. Not going to cause too much of trouble here. Blackpear moving towards the cliff face section. I can't really tell too much of the difference going on here, as we are still with a bit of a time reducing, so I do apologize for that, but we are gonna, I'm gonna really just look at the gap once we start to finish this chapter, as we are nearing the end of chapter 4. Blackpear just having a few more screens to go through. Yeah, Blackpear exiting with the file time of 11:25, and now we will see what the difference ends up being as Scrublord looks to exit this chapter as well. Moving through the bubbles on the cliff. Scrublord getting in 11:50, so we are looking at about a 20-second difference between the two players. And now we're in chapter 5. This is another section that could definitely cause some troubles. Blackpear entering for the yeet setup. Oh! Not quite getting the jump there needed, and is having to do, and it is just having to move through normally. It is definitely faster to not try to set it up again and just keep on moving if you end up not quite getting the momentum you need from the dash block. Scrublord not able to get a yeet over there either. Not able to get the corner boosts, but blackpear is now out of 5A, going to be entering 5B. Scrublord having a bit of trouble with the cycles, but still able to manage to get out of there, and is now looking at about a 117 for there and exiting 5A. Blackpear on this Bubs drop now able to get it on the first try. Well done there, Blackpear. And now just moving through the rest of Chapter 5B, which has been seemed pretty smooth on the last time, but it doesn't seem like Blackpear is playing as much at the top as much as he was a little while ago. And yes, missing these diagonal dashes of skipping red bubbles here. Still going for it, still trying to do this red bubble skip. And now has finally chosen to not do it anymore, as Scrublord gets the Bubs drop first try. And Scrublord playing a bit safer here, not going for any sort of shenanigans of skipping red bubbles here. And so allowing for a little bit more for the gap to close, as they are both heading in. Yeah, Scrublord playing a little bit cleaner here on these later sections right now. Gotta be what's needed for Scrublord to potentially catch up. Entering a difficult Theo section now on 5B. Oh, Scrublord having a bit of trouble not quite getting Theo onto the dash block and forcing to be taking the death there, as Blackpear has finished it out, getting a 258 on 5B. And yeah, we have ended up a lot closer than I realized. We're looking at only about like a 5 to 10 second difference between the two players entering Chapter 6. Best player is successfully getting through the leg skip and just moving through into the hollow section. And blackpear still opting for the top route, having a bit of trouble on the first bumpers. Now a bit off cycle with that up and down one. So having a bit of trouble, should be fine. Oh, and yeah, still looking like a lot of mess ups just happening. Just a little bit spaghetti coming on from that top route choice. And yeah, you gotta keep in mind the timer desync that is happening right now. You're gonna see roughly we're at 820 going into this downward section here with the Kevin block, and it's still not that far off from where Scrublord is gonna be entering here. Yeah, see, just about tied up entering that screen transition and going into battle line boost now for blackpear. Oh, Scrublord taking a death on this long fall of the intended skips and not quite getting the positioning, going to have to be forced to take the checkpoint, which is in some ways good, some ways bad, but still having to mess around here with this screen. Going into battle line boost now, there is a definite lead here for blackpear. Players just continuing to move through the battle line fight. Not a lot to really see, as different movements have been continuously optimized for this area. Both players playing very well today on this match. Still looking to see who will be in front at the end of this chapter 6. Yes, blackpear definitely still having a bit of trouble here. Had to took a death here at the final sequence of the battle line fight, and Scrublord is slowly catching up. So ending chapter 6, we'll definitely see what the difference is between the two players, which is actually looking to be pretty small. And yeah, so 22 minutes on the dot from blackpear's file timer at the end of chapter 6. And looking very close by from Scrublord as well. Also, that looks to be a 22:02. 22:03 from Scrublord, so just 3 seconds of difference between blackpear and Scrublord. I am hoping we can get a sync in here so that we can see just how close it is in this Summit chapter. For now, we're just going to continue to look through as the players are moving through. Very close together right now. Okay, players moving through. Scrublord ending 500 meters as blackpear has entered 1000. And now we are getting that sync, folks. We are looking at seeing just how small this gap is between the two players. And yeah, on the same screen now, but blackpear having just a little bit of a lead. Is really going to come down to these next sections going on here. 1500 meters definitely going to be a decider here. And here we are entering the 1500 meters, one of the most dangerous sections of Summit. Going to be very tricky to maintain the lead that blackpear currently. And entering the longer room here with the hypers. Getting in there under the wire, Scrublord is just behind him. Right on the tail. blackpear continuing to keep this lead going on. It is still happening as we are going into the 2,000 meters now. These players are doing top things going on. Oh, and blackpear actually ending up taking a death on this room. We are back to being synced again. As, oh, another mess up here from blackpear, and now Scrublord has taken that lead. And we are now on the auto-scroller skip. This is still a tricky one to do. It's not necessarily 100%, but both players are able to get it, getting the wall bounces needed, as Scrublord is now going to maintain this lead as we are in the second auto-scroller. Nothing surprising going to happen here, I don't think. No, as we are just going to finish out 2,000 meters and enter the 2,500 meters where we're going to have some more interesting areas to look into. Oh, but blackpear taking another death on the 2,000 meter section. But Scrublord is following. We're actually really close now. This is such a long screen, and Scrublord died at the end of the screen, resulting in blackpear able to take the lead again And now going into 2,500 meters, we actually do have another lead from blackpear. Just a little mess ups. Oh, and Scrublord not quite getting the demo dash under to get in between that directional block, and is now looking at a very good lead from blackpear in this 2,500 meters. blackpear still having trouble in the beginning sections though, so Scrublord still has that chance. We are still looking at a very close race. Little deaths on every screen are changing leads. So it's very important to keep your trick smooth and not really get any sort of thing besides the butter. blackpear threading the needle and going into door skip. These are going to matter more than ever. Oh, Scrublord taking a death on threading the needle, going into door skip now. It has taken the point where blackpear has the lead, but we are going into 3,000 meters. These final 30 flags are not easy by any standpoint. And it does look like timers have desynced just a little bit, but not by too much. We are still in a good area here. blackpear having to go back for the dashes on flag 26. Yes, the fatigue going on from the runners. It is very true that that has definitely set in at this point. These players are still very close together. Just about a flag difference between the two players. blackpear are now heading into the updraft section though. We get much longer flags, much more punishing deaths if they occur. Scrublord taking a small death here, but still, like I said, it's the downdraft section. The deaths aren't as punishing as they are going to be in the updraft, which blackpear is currently in. Both players moving through. You really just need to concentrate on the flag countdown. We got 12 going on. We got flag number 12 being passed by in 11 and now 10, while Scrublord is currently on flag 13. Little trouble going on flag 9. Oh! Having to do it again over here, and now Scrublord is slowly catching up just on flag 10. Gonna go into 9 very shortly as blackpear is exiting flags. But Scrublord had the same mistake, actually. We are looking at a very close match here with Scrublord entering flag 7 at a similar time. Yeah, 3,000 meters is not being nice to either player today. blackpear going to be going into flag 2. Finishing up here. Scrublord taking a death is going back to the beginning of flag 3. And this is looking to be a definite win by blackpear. Gonna be getting a 30-55. Right, so in the continued good spirits of this league, blackpear able to finally get the lead after having to after being forced into the choice for Scrublord between taking the win and doing reschedules. We've had 2 reschedules in a row, and now allowing blackpear to take that win on finally getting a full run on stream again. So this time we are getting that definite win from blackpear. Good sportsmanship from Scrublord, allowing this. And it appears that both players are not really able to do any sort of post-race interview. However, it has definitely been a good race to see today. Thank you for joining me. I have been loving this. Unfortunate things going on, but you know, it is what it is, and we have dealt with it now. And it really has seemed that the cards were dealt correctly for blackpear to actually get a win. Thank you for Scrublord to actually continuing to allow blackpear to get those chances. You know, it's not every day you see something like this. So thank you so much for watching this. We're gonna have, you know, coming up some really good things coming in. So, you know, stay tuned for the next task results for SMO, Super Mario Odyssey.